Yo, we love.
We talk about the mindset that allowed him to achieve those
Getting
things.
money today.
But today, David really lets us under the hood.
And
he lets us into the
yeah, we
form
about
of
to be
inner
good.
dialogue
Hold on.
that he has to embrace, indeed that he has to grapple with on a daily basis,
Pause this
sometimes
real quick.
multiple times.
But yeah, we getting money today. We about to get in some good work. You know how we do it when we go live. 3 rounds, intensity. I got the band and I got the jump rope. So we about to get to it. Yeah. Alright, but let me let you guys in on what I'm doing. So you guys already know how I started off. I gotta do my knee raises, banded, but this time we about to switch it up. So like how I usually do my leg switches, we got the band, so it's resisted today. It's all about explosiveness. All about explosiveness. So yeah, the leg switches is banded. So single leg, double leg, triple leg, run in place 20 seconds. And then I'm gonna do single leg explosive hops, 10 on each leg. And then I'm gonna do pogo hops. I'm gonna start off with 10, but if that's too light, then I'm gonna boost it up to like 15 or 20. And then after that, 2 minutes, intense jump rope. But yeah, we about to get it.
Throughout the day and night, in order to impose the sort of self-discipline that he is so well known for. We also get into some of the scientific mechanisms underlying willpower, and we talk about David's current endeavors that include, for instance, his own exploration of science and medicine, for which he has become an intense scholar and practitioner. I should mention that multiple times throughout today's discussion, you will hear curse words. Now, David and I both acknowledge that cursing isn't for everybody, and that cursing itself is different than cursing at somebody. Nonetheless, we do realize that many people, parents perhaps especially, might not want to hear cursing. If you don't want to hear cursing, well then this podcast episode is probably not for you. However, if you are comfortable with cursing or if you can tolerate it, I assure you today's discussion is highly worthwhile. Before we begin, I'd like to emphasize that this podcast is separate from my teaching and research roles at Stanford. It is, however, part of my desire and effort to bring zero cost to consumer information about science and science-related tools to the general public. In keeping with that theme, I'd like to thank the sponsors of today's podcast. Our first sponsor is Maui Nui Venison. Maui Nui Venison is the most nutrient-dense and delicious red meat available. I've spoken before on this podcast, and there's general consensus that most people should strive to consume approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, when one strives to do that, it's important to maximize the quality of that protein intake to the calorie ratio, because you don't want to consume an excess of calories to get that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Maui Nui Venison has an extremely high quality protein to calorie ratio, so it makes getting that 1 gram of protein, also a jerky protein. Nui Venison was for Palo Alto, a cup of coffee that tastes that much better as compared to any other form of brewing that coffee, even
I hear the motivation, not the ads, bro.
David Goggins, welcome. Oh man, good to see you again, man. Great to see you. It was late 2016, early 2017, I believe, when you were in my lab at Stanford. Yes, sir. We did a little work later that day down in San Jose, and gosh, see you everywhere, but it's not enough, so great to have you here. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Oh, wow.
You embody discipline and doing hard things. Right. I think you just start right off with let's just go there. The bold truth. But right before we went hot mics, right, we were talking about learning. Right. Right now you're spending some time learning and doing things that I think most people probably don't typically associate David Goggins with. Right. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, most people just look at me as the guy that runs and yells as he's running. And that's, well, I do that, to motivate people. But people don't understand that my day is broken up into segments. I work out, I eat, I sleep, I spend most of my time studying. So like, I'm in the medical world, I'm a paramedic in Canada, but I spend a lot of my time trying to nuke every single thing about it, because I'm not trying to just be a paramedic, learn about veins and arteries and how the heart pumps and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn to the point where I can save someone's life. And even though paramedics are doing that all over the world, I'm trying to be that paramedic that can really dissect exactly what's going on and figure out, what medication goes where. Just trying to, they're trying to learn, the algorithm of what's going on, man. So I spend a lot of time with it.
I love the word algorithm, because when I teach biology or try and learn anything that's related to biology, especially the human body,
Right.
I need to know the nouns.
Yep.
But it's the verbs that matter, and that's really what you're talking about. Like just saying that sits there, that brain part there, doesn't tell you how it all works together. So what does your process for studying look like? Like if we dropped a camera in the room, but a microphone into your inner dialogue.
Right.
Gosh, wouldn't we all love that? But if we dropped a microphone into your inner dialogue, are you waking up looking at the books and going, yeah. Fresh day,
right,
let's learn? Or is some of the same resistance that you've talked about coming up around physical work, is that coming up from time to time?
You know what? I was nervous at first. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep it real.
If it wasn't for the band, I'll be doing 10.
I'm not a real smart
Band
guy.
is decreased.
And what I mean by that is I was born with ADHD. My brain cannot retain information. I'm not some genetic freak when it comes to running, when it comes to lifting weights. I am absolutely the bottom of the barrel. And people will never believe me. And they can just, whatever, believe what you want to believe. So when you ask me this question about what does studying look like for me, I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again. While Jennifer can look at that page while she's, quizzing me, she'll learn it right then. As she doesn't know anything about it. She will quiz herself, quiz me, and learn it as she's quizzing me. It's the most frustrating thing in the world how my brain works. So what I do is I literally sit there with
the one I just did before that was double
and I have my books, and I go through and have to write everything.
See the chat, I see people in here.
Every single day, I will study the same page until it's photographic memory.
What's up?
Writing the same thing down. And then from there, I'll go back through and relearn again. So I'll learn the bulk of it, but then I'll go through and learn the small things within that. So if it's a medication, I'll learn what the medication does. I'll learn how to even say the medication. Because these medications aren't like albuterol. No, it's very big words. So I'll go through, learn how to say the name. Then I'll go through, learn what the dose is. Then I'll go through, and this is like every single day. It's not like, oh, I got it. Let's go through. No, nothing is I got it. Every single thing. So I can't wait to get in this conversation, because everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds and 24 years old, it wasn't like I had some big epiphany of, let's just go be a Navy SEAL, let's lose some weight. No, I knew my entire life was going to be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into this shit and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened to me. And I realized this is why I feel sorry for no one. In this podcast, they're going to really not like me, because people are going to think that I am maybe lying or maybe fibbing or exaggerating. No, I was the lowest form on earth. No talent, no ability to learn, and I literally know what it is to be rock bottom and to build that up. So that question about learning is a pain in my ass, and I don't have to do it. Just think about it. I'm 49 years old and I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have to do anything. So all I thought about when I was growing up is, man, I can't wait to one day get to the point where I no longer have to do this stuff. But what happened, I got older, it became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline, it's a regimen, it was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to
I love that you're studying. I recall a few years ago I heard some interview or podcast with you, and you just threw out like, I don't know what I'll do next. Maybe I'll be a scientist. And I went, yeah. I was like, because I know you a bit, right? And I see your work out there, but we'd met before, that if you decided that, you were going to do it, right? And learning
Single leg
medicine,
hop.
which is what you're doing, right? Learning human physiology is so detailed. And people out there have to understand, when you look at a textbook and you see the veins and the capillaries different colors, when the body's open, they're not different colors, right? So, I mean, some things have different color contrast, but it's not like it's all labeled when you pop it open. Exactly. And so the process of writing things down by hand is important for you. So you go back and read those notes. Do you think about that stuff on your runs too? Or are you segmenting your day? Like when you're done studying, are you heading out for a run and thinking about other things, or are you still rehearsing the material in your head?
So when I write it down and I'm actually looking down at this table right now because I'm back to writing. So I'm actually there right now as I'm speaking to you. I write it down in a way that I'm memorizing page 69. So
on this one,
I'm writing it down, so then writing it down and that page sync together in my brain. So I'm looking at the book in my brain right now. So like, that's just how it works for me. And I have to do it over and over again. So that page is stuck in my mind. So I'm literally flipping through pages as I'm taking these tests. And I'm taking these national tests to become a paramedic or become an advanced EMT or whatever. I'm literally, as I'm taking that test, I'm going through and I'm like, and I'm flipping pages in my head of where that page was. And how I do that is just from how I write it and how it's on the page. When I run, I can't recall any of it. I cannot bring any of that because I'm running.
10 pogo
How my
jumps.
mind is wired now is that everything I do is what I do. Because the focus it takes for me to, like right now, I'm running. I'm not like a great runner. I'm not like injury free. So like my first 20 minutes of the run, I'm limping. I'm literally limping because I've had several knee surgeries and my body was twisted. And so now it's untwisting. So people look at me, oh, it looks like he's limping, like limping when he runs. I am limping when I run. My body's jacked up, so I'm focusing on how to get the best
2 minutes.
out of a broken body. So everything I do is a total focus on what I'm doing at
I'm gonna try to
that
keep the
point
intensity,
in
but
my life.
So
I'm
it
also
seems
gonna
like
try
you've
to
really
flow with it as well.
trained away or somehow gotten away from the ADD that you mentioned. Because what you described is a deep
2 minutes.
V-shaped trench or and it can only go forward in that trench, right? Or back, and it goes forward. It's not like sliding around at the like concave at the bottom, right? Like a tension. So it's like you've trained that up. Is there a similar feeling when you're in the full focus of running versus full focus of studying? Does it kind of feel like, oh yeah, that's the same groove, but different thing? Or is it just completely different world?
It's a completely different world. Like, it's just, both of them for me, it's suffering, but it's suffering a whole different way. Like, when I was going through school, I'll never forget, I think I was in 3rd grade. And back then, you know, ADD, ADHD wasn't like, you know, here's this medicine, or here's this thing. They want to put you in a special school. So for me, I was so far behind in learning that their big thing was, let's just put him in a special school because he'll never learn. And through that process of like, I don't want to be in a special school. I don't want to be treated any differently. It really, like, I never took medication. I've never taken medication for this. That's why right now you see me looking right in your eyes. What the hell is you know, it's Truman saying right now? And that's why I don't feel bad for people who have ADHD, who have learning disabilities. And some are impossible because you just can't. But a lot of them you can. But people don't want to go through the process of focus, of teaching yourself how to truly focus. This is where my message gets lost. It gets lost because I may say, you know, MF or F, where, you know, I may, because that's the passion that comes out of me, because it takes everything for me to learn a sentence. So when I speak about David Goggins, I can't speak about David Goggins in a way that's just calm and cool. Because when I wake up, I know the journey that it takes for me to find my greatness. And it's hard. nothing is easy.
Single leg jump rope's
Nothing is
going
like, oh, I wake up,
crazy.
I just do this or I do that, or it just, I watch people every day go through life and it's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every bit of me. So when I speak about it, and as I get going here, you'll start seeing me, the tempo will rise. The passion will come out because I'm back there. I'm doing what I do every day to become a human being.
Getting
And so
money, getting
nothing
money.
is easy. Like, running is running. It sucks. But you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. It may take you something differently. So for me, everything has to be in the study. Everything has to be into this. Everything has to be, and everywhere I am, it has to be there. Me, focused where I am. That's why you're my second podcast I've done since Rogan, since the book came out. I don't have time for that shit. Because if I want to be great, I'm not trying to maximize money or maximize people knowing me. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy. And others just won't.
2 more rounds.
Sounds like friction
Right.
is something you're very
I
familiar
feel
with.
so.
It's a word just that I feel like is like
Yes.
cast above us right now in
Yes.
boldface, highlighted, underlined letters. It's just
Friction
like,
is growth.
friction.
Yes.
Like you're up in the morning, and I imagine David Goggins going to the coffee maker, stretching out, good morning, sunshine, and you're telling me from eyelids open, there's friction.
Yes, and that is the thing that people don't fucking get. The biggest misunderstanding about David Goggins of all time. It's like, whether you believe in God or not, I do. He put this lab rat, which is me, on this planet. And said, let me fucking see what a beat up, abused kid
Single leg.
who can barely learn, who has a twisted body, messed up genetics, sickle cell, this and that. Let me give him everything that pretty much disqualifies you from the military. But back then, it wasn't estrus. And let's put him in this and see what comes out of it. So to do that,
Double leg.
friction, you don't wake up in the morning time and go to the coffee maker. Matter of fact, sometimes you don't even sleep. What it requires is when I'm at 2 o'clock it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and my brain is thinking about a fucking drug. And I gotta get up and look in my book to see if that drug is how I improve. And this is every day of my fucking life. That's why when I train a fighter or I train someone, I'm like, you have no fucking idea how great you really are.
Matter of fact.
Because you are using such minimal of what you have. And if people
that's
can
double
learn
leg
to
switches. I keep
focus,
getting confused. I don't know why.
this is what's possible. While it may
They
not
did
be
it in
pretty,
another
like
show.
people want to do a documentary
It's
on
going
me.
through
I go,
it.
no. I don't want you to do a documentary on me. Because I will have normal, everyday people picking me apart. Oh, his life is miserable. Who wants to live like that? It's crazy how it's almost like he's sick, he's psychotic. The most frustrating thing in the world for me is when normal people judge a man like myself on what it really takes to extract greatness from nothing. It takes every bit of who you are if you choose that
I'm on
route.
the triple.
If you don't, Merry Christmas, do what you gotta do. But yeah, all these things for me, like I told you, man, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not coming here to talk about like, perform without purpose. Because I go through, when I write these books, I go through and try to dumb down David Goggins. How can I give normal people, and I'm normal, but I found something that most don't want to find. How can I speak to people and give them
20
something
seconds.
from this
Down in
crazy
place.
psychotic brain that I've developed? How can I give them that? So I sit down with Jennifer for years and write down perform without purpose, couch your mind, armor your mind, the cookie jar, the accountability mirror, shit that people can fucking use in their lives. No. I'm glad it helps you, but the barbaric life that I live, that you have to live, the almost obsession that you must have to be great, you can't put that shit in a fucking book, bro. You can't put it in a book. You can't write about it.
It has to be experienced.
It has to be experienced. And you can't even after you experience it, to write it in the book, it would seem like he needs to be locked up. This ain't
It's gory.
It's too gory. It doesn't make sense for a guy that every second of the day, he is trying to extract more from something. He's constantly thinking. He's constantly disciplined, never going off the path. Whatever is injured on him, he figures a way. It's a conqueror's mindset. And very few people, if
Single
any,
leg.
can
Explosive
really
hops.
understand what that is. Like, I'm almost 50, and I've been this way for almost 30 years. Like, what do you do for fun? You never, these questions, I don't get them. I don't understand them. I don't. So yeah.
I get asked that sometimes when you I start listing off all this stuff like podcasting, reading,
Right.
or working out.
Right.
But so some of that resonates. But I think what's so truly unusual about what you're describing, your process, is that, you know, from go, it's hard.
Yep.
And I have to ask, was being 300 pounds, having I'm using the words you've described. You said it before. You had a tendency at one point in your life, early on, tell lies,
Yep.
try and get people's approval.
Lie my ass off.
Crazy haircuts, attention seeking, and yet it was extraordinary.
Right.
Do you think those hardships were necessary to flip the switch?
I don't know if they were necessary, but it was something that made me feel. I didn't feel good. It was easy. The brain that I was given as a child, it was easy to go home and think about how I want to be a freak today. How do I want to show up to school today and be a freak? It didn't require me going home and opening the book up saying, it's going to take me to learn this fucking page. So instead of learning that page, I learned how to become a character. And maybe that character that I created, that 300-pound insecure guy that used to fake it till I make it type of guy, you know, let me become your friend, let me lie to you until you like me type of guy. When you have any kind of, any manhood, womanhood, a human being, a soul, a spirit, I must have just this much pride. Because that's exactly what opened the door for me. Because every day you were a character, every day you were a clown, every day you opened that Spanish book or that science book or English book, you looked at it, it looked like a foreign language. And you're saying, where do I start? Where do I start?
2 minute
And
jump rope.
obviously it was necessary. The more I talk about it, it was necessary. Because what happened is I became haunted by the mere fact that this is my existence. And you gotta live with that. Now, I lived with it for a lot of years. And so I sat back and said, okay, all right, I know what this takes. And when you sit back, as fucked up as I was, and I had a laundry list, a table like this of what I have to do to become just a human being that can make ends meet, that can make $1,000 a month just to get there. It was like, oh my God, dude, like, honey, I'm 16, 17, I can't read, I can't write, and oh my God, I'm so behind the power curve, and my brain is about being depressed, and my mom's not home, and kids are calling me nigger at school, and I'm like, oh my God, man, what the fuck do I do? And it wasn't like someone came around and said, hey man, you can do this. This is all me. Some people know, where's this cold man come from? I'm not trying to be cold. It's the reality of my life. It's the reality of a lot of people's lives. And so, yeah, that had to happen for me to be haunted. To pull out, to extract the goddamn day. That haunting is something that's still there today. Because no matter how much you improve, no matter how much you change who you are, it's not permanent. You don't just wake up and say, oh my God, man, you're David Huggins, you break records, you do this, you do that. People don't know, how are you able to just be so hard? I never turned the fucking thing off. Because once it turns off, I go right back to the David Goggins that is. And that's the guy that I'm constantly fighting every day. And it's a choice. And that choice makes you misunderstood. It makes you crazy. That's why I hate fucking social media. In 2013, people wanted me to write my book. I did it in 2018. It took 5 years. And the reason why I didn't do it, I sat at a table and Jennifer was there. It's before she started working for me. I started dating her, whatever.
That's
And
round
all
2.
these people were there. And they're like, man, you gotta go on social media. And I was like, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not, it's poison. It's poison because I knew what I did to get where I am. And I'm
We
gonna have
really
these
getting
people,
to it
these
today.
normal, everyday people, fat, lazy, is exactly who I was, judging me. Because I know it, because I was once them. All my hard work, all my dedication, I'm gonna have some normal dude get his little brownie, his little ding-dong, ho-ho Twinkie, sit there with his coffee, picking me apart. And, oh, he must be unhappy. He's just, do you know how hard it is to put these shoes on every damn morning? And I'm gonna have you pick me apart? So, yeah, there's so much that goes into this that I was like, fuck this. I never want anything to do with it. So, anyway.
I'm not a psychologist, but knowing your story from what
Last
you've written,
round.
what you've said on social media and elsewhere podcasts, and here now especially,
Right.
it's amazing to me, and frankly, it pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. I realize that's not what you're trying to do, but that in the course of your childhood and in your young adulthood, that no one ever got between you and the world.
No.
I forget where I heard it, that like if a kid has just one person that believes in them,
Right.
you know, and I had my trials and tribulations, but I had great coaches, great mentors.
Right.
I attached to them. I found them if they didn't necessarily find me.
Right.
But I'm realizing that your situation was no one's ever said, hey, I'm going to stand here next to you or get in front of you,
Right.
put a shield up. And so it's almost like you've got these different it's all you, but there's versions of yourself that like you knew social media, like I don't know that I have the wherewithal in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17
Right.
to get in front of myself while doing all this because I've already got so much going on in here.
Right.
Is that about right?
That is right, but I had developed a lot of anger, and I still have it. It will never go away for the normal human beings in this world. Because when you put yourself in the sewer like I was in, and please, if someone saved me, come out and announce it to the world. There's no one. There's no one. So when you know that, and then I'm sitting at a table with all these smart people who are telling me what to do and shit, and guiding me through my life now, when I'm 40 fucking years old, and 2000, I don't know, 40 something years old, now I'm 49. And I'm looking at them all, and they're now trying to guide me on what's right, on this poison. And so, yeah, what you say is right, but for me, it was more of, I know now. I don't need you to guide my future. I know what's good for me and what's bad for me. And for me, it took every bit of focus I could. And I know social media, that's why people love to go on there, because they want to show you the good side of life. I'm not teaching good side of life. So I had to figure out a way when I came on in 2016 of teaching you what life really is for the majority of us is hell. And so while people love to show you the cars and the house and the vacations and shit, all that's good. All that's happy. I'm gonna show you the side that I know most you're going through. And people hide very well. I don't want to hide. I hid it for 24 fucking years. So that's why now I told you, we can talk about whatever you want. Because as human beings, the first thing we have to learn, I also stuttered real bad growing up. So if you hear me stutter every now and then, it's because that was part of my life also. So it's human beings want to show the side, and they want to hide the worst side. For me, I'm going to teach you how to be vulnerable. Because that's the only way you fix yourself. You don't fix yourself by coming out here and me selling you some fucking books. That's why I don't have them. I forgot them. I'm glad people got something from the book. I want you to learn that the only way you grow is how to look at yourself and say, okay, like I did.
Now,
Take longer
22nd.
than this. What the fuck I have to do to get
please.
somewhere?
Move
There was
yourself.
nothing good on
Your
here.
legs is fried.
Nothing. Yeah, I love playing basketball. I left that out. That's something I love to do. I don't care about that. That didn't make the fucking list. Because the list that I had to live by was the very list that was to get me at this table with you. To talk to you, to the normal human beings which I once was. About how you can get somewhere. And how it looks. It looks very ugly. There's no fucking passion. There's no fucking motivation. There's no, oh my God, man, this is no. It's every day of your life just doing. No passion. No discipline. No motivation. All these words, I hate people. There's so many people fucking use these words now because it's watered. It's someone sitting in a room by themselves and they figure themselves out and say, God, this is gonna fucking suck. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? Where is it? So how did this happen? I just fucking did. I just did. I said, maybe at the end of this journey, there'll be something there for me. If not,
This really
I
does
can
suck.
read.
But I gotta do it.
If not, I'm already 85 fucking pounds.
Single leg.
There's no magic potion. There's no, oh, let me wake up and
Single leg
look
is
at some shit. No. All those words are overused. They're bullshit. It's all bullshit. Just do. You're living. How do you want to live? How do you want to die? How do you want to fucking be remembered? That's it. Period.
As many of you know, I've been taking AG1 daily since 2012, so I'm delighted that they're sponsoring the podcast. AG1 is a vitamin mineral probiotic drink that's designed to meet all of your foundational nutrition needs. Now, of course, I try to get enough servings of vitamins and minerals through whole food sources that include vegetables and fruits every day, but oftentimes I simply can't get enough servings. But with AG1, I'm sure to get enough vitamins and minerals. So no picture of Jordan on the wall. You're not listening to YouTube inspiration video. Those would be all your voice anyway. You're not listening to your top 10 favorite songs just to get rolling and then place the shoes, hit the books. It's all in here.
All in there. I used to do that when I was fat. Rocky, I mean, that was my thing. Round 14 was my thing. And as I got older and older and older, that started to go away. And I started to create. I had all these people that I used to watch. Rocky was one, Barnes, Elias from Platoon, Jack from A Few Good Men. You know, he's on the stand going crazy. I saw a lot of these characters that I looked at and I was like, man, I ain't got none of that. But they were characters. After a while, I lived a life so disciplined.
I'm really over here sweating. I don't even know if y'all see
everybody
it,
that
but
I once looked to, these
I'm
fake
getting to
characters,
it today.
I
I'm
built
drenched.
that as a man. And when
Let's
I was
get these
younger,
tempo
I had
jumps.
this image in my
Maximum
mind
effort.
of what does a man look like to me? And I got all these people who were badasses, characters. And in my mind, I became that. And that's what kept me going a lot. Was I had this pipe dream of becoming a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. You have no parents raising you, and you have no role models growing up. It's not daydreaming. You start to create a reality like, maybe I can be
That's
that.
true. 2
And
minutes.
after becoming this guy,
2 minutes.
that is the biggest thing I can ever do in my life, is I became that guy. That I once looked at all these guys, now look at myself like, God, who the fuck
What's
can
up?
do
What's
that?
up? What's up?
I can.
Anti-popular.
What it takes is
What's good with you, my guy?
that no one
We getting in
can
work
ever
today.
even-
Beautiful day, so
they
we
just
getting
don't-
money,
they don't
man.
understand it.
Hope you on the
They
same
don't understand
time,
it.
bro.
Everybody has the ability to do it, but they just don't want to. They want to keep asking questions and keep going to seminars. And the greatness is right in you. That's why, once again, I'll say this a million times here, I do not feel sorry for you. I will not sugarcoat what I'm going to say to you, because all of you know what I'm saying is the truth. Everybody knows it's the truth. This is what it looks like, and you know it too. You know, too, this is what, if you ain't got nothing, I hate to tell you, but it looks like it's ugly. It's not a documentary. It's not an HBO special. You ain't gonna watch it. Hey, man, you guys gotta watch this. No, it's like, oh, God, this looks like a train wreck. It's like a nightmare. This looks like this guy got, no. That's what it looks like. Hard work. It looks horrible. It's not motivating. Woo! It's not motivating at all. It ain't like Rocky round 14 where he gets knocked down and goes like this to Apollo Creed. It looks like a man being stuck in a fucking dungeon. And there's no fucking way out. But you got the fucking key. But you refuse to use it. And that's not motivating about that. So, yes, no documentary on David Goggins.
The real life.
The real
David
life.
Goggins is the documentary. It's already being written. You're it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna share a little neuroscience tidbit, but I think it's one that you'll appreciate. Most people don't know this, but there's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. As we pointed out before, that's a noun, it's a name, it doesn't mean anything. We could call it the Cookie Monster.
Right.
But what's interesting about this brain area is there are now a lot of data in humans, that's a mouse study, showing that when people do something they don't want to do, like add 3 hours of exercise per day or per week, or when people who are trying to diet and lose weight resist eating something.
Right.
When people do anything that they, and this is the important part, that they don't want to do.
Right.
It's not about adding more work, it's about adding more work that you don't want to do.
Yes.
This brain area gets bigger. Now here's what's especially interesting about this brain area to me. And by the way, I'm only learning this recently because it's new data, but there's a lot of it. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex is smaller in obese people.
That junk is crazy.
It gets bigger when they die. It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people.
Oh boy. Yes, sir, bro. Today, tomorrow, every day. Gotta get to it. Gotta get to it, bro. I just got done with this intense explosive workout. I got to it today. Later on, I got you guys with the push-ups and motivation for sure. Yeah, we already run out of connection and stuff, but you got to get to it every day, whether you like it or not. If you want to be in a certain place in the future, you got to put the work in now, because it's all going to add up. You get, this would probably be well, actually, no. If you work on attaining about $1 a day, there's 365 days in a year. You would at least have $365. You would at least have $365 at the end of that year. But you change that dollar from at the end of that year. But you change that dollar from $1 to $10, keep going up. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is that every day you just stack up. This could be with money, anything. You just put the work in, man. It's all gonna pay off soon. But this has been Grindman Productions. We signing out. And yeah, have a good day, guys.